Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Spence is here.
Hello.
Hello. And Gal is here.
Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving, everybody out there. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is made possible by vMix Software, DudeInIT.com, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. Gobble, 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 gobble.
Wait a minute.
Yeah? Hold it, everybody.
That's the real turkey.
Smack it.
I actually bought that when I lived in New York.
What?
Turkey hunting.
Yeah, we
It's
didn't hear anything.
it's a turkey call.
We didn't hear anything.
Oh, we didn't hear.
Oh, you didn't hear it?
Oh.
Yeah, it's a turkey call.
Be careful. Be careful.
They're outside now. They're out on my lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I at one time took up hunting, although I never actually shot at anything. But I did get my safety certifications and tags and all that stuff for hunting deer and turkey with both a bow and arrow and a shotgun. And I had a chance to take out a deer one time with a hunting bow. I was like literally 30 feet away from this buck. And I stood there and looked at me and I looked at him. I said, not today.
Yeah. So
Okay,
what
so
else
listen.
is happening?
Cyber Monday.
Oh, yeah. I was going through The Verge yesterday, and the first
I'm
page,
sorry.
the whole front page is just Black Friday specials, the best Black Friday, the best deals you can get on. Everything was hardly any news. But
No news is good news.
no news is good news, yeah, but not good for the show. But I mean, for these people who are going out to buy stuff, I mean, we all heard about Amazon TVs. Again, you need to be careful what you're buying, because this is from last week. Amazon's first TV has an appealing price and useful features, but isn't on par where it counts. Amazon's first TVs underwhelm in the all-important area of picture quality, and they rank below competition from TCL, Vizio, Hisense, and other TV makers that play in the same price range. There's nothing inherently terrible about the viewing experience on the Fire TV Omni. If you're someone who's easy to please, you might be totally satisfied. But Amazon has made a few too many hardware compromises to recommend its new TV lineup to people who want the best picture for their money. So they didn't go into too much detail, but it seems like you can probably do better with other TVs in that same family, same group of price-wise TVs. I don't know why. I mean, maybe they rushed. I don't know, but that's not a very nice review.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, but I mean, they have the money. They can
No, I'm
come
not
up with some.
surprised. But
Well,
think about it. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, and I'm not saying anything against the Amazon TVs. I'm not saying anything against Fire TV, but it's. I think for anybody that's has had an experience and had a chance to use both,
Mhm.
outside of side loading apps, which I understand for certain groups and for certain individuals, that's a big thing. And if that's your thing and you want to side load apps, then the Fire TV is the way to go. Other than that, and maybe, if you're all in on the Amazon ecosystem, maybe that as well. Outside of that, I just don't know why you wouldn't get a Roku. It's a much better streaming device. It's a lot snappier. I really like the device.
I wouldn't have chosen Fire TV on its merits. I
Yeah,
chose it
exactly.
because of the recast. Because for me, the recast works really well, and I've had a couple times it got wonky where you go in and log in and say, "What's wrong with this? Everything's not working right, retrieving." And I go in and it says disconnected from Ethernet. And it's like, wait a minute, I just watched the show. Even though it says disconnected, it was still giving me a show, but it was just not working right. So 2 or 3 times in the last year and a half, 2 years, I've had to actually reset it.
But
But other
but
than
rem-
that,
but remember, this is not a streaming device we're talking about. We're talking about their
no, this is a
TV.
DVR. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
but the
is
TV is,
a NVR, whatever you want to call it.
No,
but it is,
go
but,
ahead, Nick.
Yeah.
but it is the whole reason is it's the smart TVs built into it. I mean, that's the whole thing. And it's an Amazon TV, but it's
Right.
got all of the it's got the Fire TV stick built into it, similar to the TLC and the
Mhm.
Well, this
whatever
is
other
the
ones
the
that are Roku
recast is
TVs.
just a tuner recorder, but it
No,
works with
correct,
with the Amazon
but it had
ecosystem.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have when the Amazon Fires first came out, because I had the first gen Fire, right when it was the first one that came out, and it was the cool thing about it when it came out at the time. The Roku 3 had just come out. Those devices came out at the same time, and the cool thing about the Amazon Fire was the side loading of apps and being able to install maybe potentially illegal content. We'll just say that was the big thing with the Fire TV at the beginning, was that you could side load some of these free TV and free movie apps.
Call it
And
minimally authorized.
minimally authorized. There's a great
That's a
word.
nice
That's a
way to say it.
perfect description. But I think that with and because you go back to when that was 2014, 13, 15, whenever that came out, Sling TV wasn't really popular. Hulu TV wasn't out. YouTube TV was just starting to roll out. There weren't many options there were options, but the plethora of options were not available. And now you look at Roku. Roku has got the Roku TV channel, which has got live TV. Now, it's, of course, not what you get over the air or similar to what you get from Sling. Plex has got some of that stuff built in. Tubi, Fubo, or whatever it's called. I mean, there's all of these services now. And it just seems to me that side loading of apps to get some of this content is not super relevant. Now, frankly, the Amazon UI blows. I mean, I can't stand the Amazon Fire TV UI. It's littered with bullshit ads promoting Amazon products and TV shows. And I just don't find it to be that great of an experience.
Well, it's kind of like
I use a Fire TV. I have one at work.
it's
Yeah,
kind
but
of
the
like
Roku
buying a Kindle with the advertising, because you could buy a Kindle, it was cheaper, or a Fire, what do you call it, a Fire tablet was
Yeah.
cheaper if you bought it with the advertising.
But I don't
So-
think they even the Fire
No.
TV is just the one
Doesn't.
just a one thing. And yes, and Roku has ads as well. Like they'll change the background wallpaper and put a little thing on the side. But I don't find that the Amazon UI has matured to the point where the Roku is very simple. There's just, you see all your channels listed there, you bounce around on the remote and you're done.
The only thing that Amazon Fire TV has going for it is that for a few of the apps, it's well integrated into the screen. So you can actually see, if you were watching a show on Amazon and you were watching another show on another service, like I'm trying to think of what the other one was, it would show up alongside the Amazon programs. That made it easy to find it. But if you were watching something on Pluto or watching it on, one of those other Fubo, you have to go into the app and find it and find out what you watched. So, and have to have a login to remember. Yeah, otherwise you have to search for content every time.
So I think there are advantages and disadvantages to both, but I still stand by the fact that I just think that overall the Roku is just, I think it's a better streaming device.
I did notice I don't know if it's a Gen 1 or Gen 2 Fire Stick. I think it was a Gen 2. But when they came out with the new operating system upgrade recently, this didn't get it for a long time, months. It didn't get it. And then suddenly it got it. And it actually fixed the lag that it had before. I'm not saying it's great, but they must have worked hard on making it compatible with this older device to take away some of the issues that you had with just lag. I have one of the original, I don't know if it's a Roku 3, which is the last Roku that had the composite support.
Roku 2.
So I have a Roku 2. I have a 3 downstairs. I have a 2 that I got years ago. It still works. And if you wanted to use it for a composite television, it's the only way to go because it has a composite adapter built in. Yeah, but it is slow as hell.
Yeah, well, I've got a Roku 3, which I bought back in probably 2013 or 2014. I've got it here in the office, and it's slower, but you would expect. I've got the Roku 4K in the living room. That's speedy. I've got 2 Roku. They're not sticks, but they're little tiny. I mean, they're the size of they're literally the size of a pack of gum. I don't know if it's the. Well, I can tell you, I just bought it. Give me a second. I just ordered another one. The Roku Premiere is the one that I got. They were just on sale for $19, and they're about the size of a pack of gum. They got an HDMI and a micro USB, and that's it. And those are slower device. Now it does do HD, 4K, and HDR. So I mean, it is a capable device, but it's slower, it's cheaper, and it's not as quick. And it's what you would expect for a $20 Roku versus I want to say the 4K one is $80, $90. I mean, it's an expensive device, but you're getting obviously the performance and the power with that. So I don't know. I have had I can't even say very little. I've had no issues with my Rokus. I don't know what else to say.
When first year I went to Alaska in 2014, I brought Roku with me, and I actually found a hack to get it to work in a hotel room on the Wi-Fi. So what you would do is you go in with your computer and you change the MAC address on the computer to the Roku MAC address. You log in and authenticate because you had to go daily. You had to go through an authentication with their security server, and then basically let your computer go back to its native MAC address, and then fire up the Roku, and it would work. It would connect because it recognized the MAC address and let you in. The week I lived in that hotel,
you were getting past the single sign-on thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure which Roku I have.
You have the Ultra. You have the
Ultra. That's right. Yeah.
You have the bigger.
Yeah. And the only reason is because I wanted something I could hook cable to. I mean, Ethernet. Because the Wi-Fi did not work. The Wi-Fi that I had before. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because when I got the Ultra for the same reason because of the Ethernet, and I've never hooked it up via Ethernet. I ran the cable out there and everything. I've just never hooked it up. Yeah, but it does have that option, which is nice.
Yeah. If your wireless
Your
is
Wi-Fi,
not
your Wi-Fi was a little weird though with
right,
extenders and whatnot, so that
right,
made sense. My house is
exactly.
tiny, and I only have my router access point, one single unit in that, and it's the router's right here behind me. The TV's right on the other side of this wall, so it's not a problem.
No.
And even my Roku in the bedroom, which is on the other side of the house, is and it's the little guy, the not the Express, whatever I said it was. Um, works good too. And even at work, I've got one of those same Rokus and the work Wi-Fi. It works fine with that too. I just really like it. I don't know. I'm a fanboy. I don't have I don't have anything negative to say about it.
Yeah, I don't have anything good or bad to say about it. It's working. It's there and it's working, and that's
That's the key point, isn't it?
yeah,
I mean, that's what it comes down to
right.
at the end of the day, right? You want a device, especially something like that, that you know, Gal's talked a lot about cord cutting, and we've all talked about it. You want a device that's just going to freaking work, and you don't
Set
have to
set it
dick
and
around
forget.
with.
Set it and
Yeah,
forget it. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. And that's my experience with the Roku is create a Roku account or a yeah, create a Roku account, log into it, all of your channels sync across your devices. It just it just works really well.
Yeah.
The voice, the Ultra. I don't know if Amnon. Do you use the voice part on it at all?
No.
That's nice. It works well, and I know that Amazon's got one too, and it's got a word built into it. So I'm sure that works well too. But I just yeah, I'm a fanboy. I don't know what to say.
The only problem that I had, I can say that with the Roku Plex combination, and God correct me if I'm wrong, the app that keeps on changing on us as far as the UI, this is the Roku app for Plex. It's not Plex's uh, fault, and it's not really Roku's fault. It's the people that uh, write the app to interface between the two.
Well, yeah, it's Plex. I mean, it's the software. They develop the software. So
They develop, I
Oh,
mean, Plex developed
Plex,
the
of
Roku.
course,
Oh, so it
they
is
developed the Roku app,
okay.
Plex Roku app. They developed the Plex Android app for that runs on Fire TV. They developed,
Okay.
uh, yeah.
So that's the only problem that I'm having, and it's it's like imagine how we were going crazy every time Windows changed the UI, but it wasn't that close.
now that's a good point. That okay, I can so there's a disadvantage of the Roku is that you have the apps automatically update and you
Yeah.
don't have a choice to, but I'm not sure if that's the same on the Amazon. I would guess
On every ecosystem today. I
yeah,
mean,
I
you
would
can
assume
probably
that's the case.
disable auto update somewhere, but it's you wouldn't want it anyway because it'll stop working eventually. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only thing. But after a couple of weeks, you get used to it, and okay, everything is fine until they change again.
Yeah.
But
experience with both is they're pretty much similar. They're not that different. I don't know uh, why you feel the UI is that different, especially after the last refresh of the Fire TV UI. It's pretty similar in operability and in accessibility. Um,
It could be old information that I have too. I
it might be. That's not the case. I mean, what I found curious about all of this is Amazon is selling something for 300 something dollars, while you could have bought exactly the same thing. And what I mean by exactly the same thing is a 50-inch 4K panel with the Fire TV OS built in, baked in from JVC or from TCL because they sold. There was a time that these guys sold not only Roku based TVs, but also Fire TV based TVs. So, and you would get something that was substantially better. And that's the sad thing about all of this, right? Is they didn't need to invent the wheel here, and somehow they they went with the lesser path, and that's the sad thing I think about the whole ordeal. It's still okay-ish. I
No,
wonder
it's
what
fine.
would I wonder what would the reviewer say about a Fire TV based Chinese branded cheap TV from a year ago, right? Because they also, if you noticed for the tone of the article, they do not really dish it as completely incapable,
Right.
right? But they're trying to position it. It's not it's not better than a Chinese option,
Mhm.
right? That and basically, I mean, we do know we're talking about a label brand, right? This is something that was manufactured in a production factory, probably exactly the same as the ones that were produced previous years with different brands and just slapped on the Fire TV brand. It's not like Amazon came in and
No.
brought in engineers of high caliber to create something completely new, right? And I don't think anybody's claiming that. So
I wonder if there's a way to figure out who's producing it for them
yeah, probably, and we'll probably start to see tear down videos, in a couple
sooner
of
or
weeks.
later. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
But it'd just be interesting.
yeah,
Well,
Uh,
let me ask you this. Do we think that Amazon is too late to the game with this? I mean, this is their first TV and their
not going to
first
be the
fully
leaders.
integrated. Or are they too
They're
late
not
to the
going to
game if people already decided what they want?
No, I don't. I don't think
mm,
they're positioning themselves to be the leader of that. So
Okay.
I don't think they're late to the game. I think they're just. I mean, if you go and buy batteries online, do you choose some brand you don't know, or would you take Amazon Basics? Are they late to the game with batteries? No, they
No, but
just
I don't think you don't
resell.
invest in an ecosystem based off of AA or AAA batteries. I think that's more of my question is have people already smart TVs and smart devices have already I mean people have most people have some sort of smart TV in their house just because you can't really get away. If you've bought a TV in the last 5 years, you would have had to hunt to find a not smart TV. So that's my question is have people already said I like Roku or I like Samsung Smart TV or I like LG and are that's more of what I'm saying. You know, not late to the game as if there's no room for them, but are people
How
already decided on what they like?
where do the Amazon TV prices come in compared to other vendors?
They're
Are
they're
they
equivalent.
significantly cheaper?
No.
They're at the low end.
Uh,
They're looking for the people who are buying the TV by the price and not by any other feature.
Because that's the only way they'll be able to sell it, unless you're a Fire TV fan. So it's going to be price sensitive people, and they'll go with it because of the price sensitivity if they do it right. But if they don't come through on the features, if they're people are annoyed by the features of the TV, it's not going to grow because the
I
word will
don't
get
Well,
think
out and people say don't buy it.
I don't think that'll be the case. The only thing they can lose is if somebody can, at the same price point, get something better.
Well,
Right?
that's what I mean. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're going to have to do a loss leader at first to get the market penetration they want to build the market. But if
Yeah, I
they,
don't think they're at the loss here. So that's the
yeah,
thing. That's what's surprising. It's they're selling pretty much the same thing or maybe a lesser thing, right? Which is what
but
the article seems
mhm.
to state at that price point.
yeah, I mean,
So
looking at price to price, the Vizio 50-inch 4K and the Amazon Fire TV 50-inch 4K are, for all intents and purposes, the same price.
right, but
So that's
Vizio, but with Vizio, you don't get any real smarts. That's the
yes.
problem.
Well, you don't, but you do get Vizio's attempt at
Yeah,
smart
but
TV.
so you are right in one thing, right? They are they're practically two major, right, smart ecosystems that people buy into, and that's the Roku and the Fire TV.
Mhm.
Then there's a distant step to that is the Apple TV. But that's for people who are really, really tied into the Apple ecosystem, and they just, they need everything Apple. And in between, or maybe not in between, I think in parallel, actually, you'll have the Samsungs and LG, which have their smart TV ecosystem is workable. It's decent. It's not, you can't compare them in terms
But
of features, right?
but let's think about this. For your non-techie people that just get a TV, do they like the LG OS or the Samsung or the Vizio OS, right? Your person that is just going out to get a TV. They don't really care about the smart stuff, but it's part of the setup
True.
process. Where do they fall into that
So
puzzle?
I can tell you one thing. At the beginning, they hate everything that has to do with Fire TV and Roku, and I'll tell you why. Because when you switch on the TV, you get a menu. You don't get a picture.
Mm,
And
true.
that,
That is very
that
true.
feel a lot of actually the Roku TVs, at least. I don't know about the Fire TV. The Roku's TV, at least, they do have an option of the default channel or whatever, right? So it can start in a channel, but people, this was I remember this when DVDs came out, right? And they were compared to VHS cassettes. So with a VHS cassette, you put the cassette in, you don't even need to press any button, the video starts, right? With a DVD, you put in the DVD, the first thing you get is a menu that you need to navigate in order to start the movie, right? And this is the same thing, is people, if they buy a TV set because they're connected to cable, right? All they want to do is to switch on the TV and have a picture running. They don't care about the menus and about the settings and about the setup and about choosing a channel, right? They want whatever's on and they'll flip through it. So it really depends on the audience you're talking about. If the audience wants old school TV, they don't want to see these smart menus at all, right? They might, their son, their daughter, they might want to, a relative coming over, they might want to, but for them, it's like, I don't care about that. So completely different audiences.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah. So anyway, if you go out there to look for TVs, just remember this.
You won't. But see, that's another big point. You won't go out and look for the Amazon TV
That's
because
right,
it's not in
because
stores.
yeah,
It's
that's
online,
right. You
and
buy
that's
it
another
online.
thing
Yeah.
too.
But it's going to be in Best Buy. It's going to be in everywhere. I mean, you
Is it?
buy Fire tablets in Best Buy. It's not
Okay,
now,
true.
but it's going to be,
Yeah.
right? It's like,
And
are going
the other
to
side, of this is that the reviewer may have been biased. We don't know
Oh,
because
no. Impossible. No.
No,
All right.
actually, the question should
say
be
it ain't
the
so.
question should be that could the reviewer actually be impartial? That's the question.
But my real question is, was he pissed off because he got it in 3 days instead of 2 days?
That's it.
Was the Bucks nicked?
It didn't get there in time for the football game
Yeah.
we wanted to watch.
Yeah.
Anyway, switching gears here. Web hosting company GoDaddy said last Monday that email addresses of up to 1.2 million active and inactive managed WordPress customers had been exposed in an unauthorized third-party access. The company said the incident was discovered on September 6th, and the third party accessed the system using a compromised password. So it seems like they got compromised password for the system, not for a website.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the following articles about this was saying, well, I mean, the comments, I wonder what they're not telling us. I mean, nobody is going there to break in to just get email addresses. What else did they get that they're not telling us yet? It's interesting. But if you have a managed WordPress site on GoDaddy, look into it. If you were not advised of the thing, if you never heard of it, ask questions. That's bad. But it could have been worse. Right?
That is bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of domain registrars, I'm guessing this is not new news to anyone, but I've discovered these guys this week. So if you want a domain, a free domain, and it seems that at least for now and for the past since 2017, they've been giving these for free with the ending TK, ML. There's a bunch of others. Go to Freenum, FREENOM.com, and they practically give it away. The 3 letters one are unavailable. Those will cost you, but anything with 4 letters or above, if the combination isn't taken yet, you can definitely register a free domain. It doesn't seem that they have any limits there either. I was able to register 4 different domains yesterday. I'm using a different DNS service to manage those domains, but so I can't.
You can't go wrong for free.
Yeah, I mean, you can if you get too invested and then suddenly it stops to be free, right? But if you have like, if you're doing it for your own servers and for your own access to home and stuff like that, this is great because you get something substantially short than other free offers that allows you a host name only. So here you get a full-blown DNS domain. So if you want, for example, to make your email your own, know that for now it's free. Remember that nothing is forever free, right? I'm not sure what type of information they're collecting about the traffic, but they can't, other than who's accessing, they can't have a lot. So it does seem they have some sort of, they're trying to pull you in to their DNS service, which is, it has a free tier, similar like Cloudflare, Google, and OpenDNS and stuff like that. But yeah, if you want a free domain name, I was surprisingly happy that there's an option like that.
So that's Freenum.
Freenum, FREENOM.com.
All right.
Yep. I checked. C2K is too short, so that will cost $500.
It will cost what?
$500. That's
So-
for the 3-letter ones.
So that's how they. Oh.
Yeah, maybe it could be,
Ah,
right?
yeah.
That's how they're pulling, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Who's using Spotify?
Me.
Yeah, I stopped using them for.
Do you
a while
use it
ago.
in the car?
Yep.
Well, there's a story here that Spotify says it's retiring its car view feature.
Good.
Which was introduced at the beginning of, did you say good?
Yeah.
In the beginning of 2019 as a way to make the app less distracting and easier to control while driving. It's currently unclear if the feature is going away on all platforms or just Android. And while some users won't miss it, many others are unhappy it's being removed without a reasonable replacement. They were
But
saying
that's
there were people that
true.
was, huh?
That's untrue. That there's no. The reason they are removing it because there is a reasonable
Okay.
replacement.
All right. So
So
The-
I'll explain. When the app identifies that you're connected to a car Bluetooth, and Bluetooth knows to do that these days, okay? It tells that the device that it's connected to a car Bluetooth and not to
Mhm.
a regular speaker. Okay, so when the device identifies that it's hooked up to the car, it shows up this overly simplified UI where there's little to distract you with. The buttons are really large,
Mhm.
and you just get some basic functionality, and that's it. Now, my guess, the reason they're retiring it is because Android Auto does that automatically and controls Spotify, and that is exactly the view that Android Auto shows
Oh,
for it. So there's no need for them to develop something that nobody's going to interact with directly. So if you exit Android Auto in order to interact with Spotify, you usually do it because you don't that interface is limiting, and the passenger, somebody in the passenger seat, he wants to control something. So it makes a lot of sense to actually take that away. So I wonder if they're doing it on the iOS as well,
well, yeah, that's what they did not know.
because that's the same thing with their Apple. They have their own
CarPlay.
interface.
And
Yeah, it sucks. I can't stand it.
you can't stand what?
The car version. It's such, and you can disable it, but which I've done. But it's so literally it's the name of the song, pause, back or forward in terms of skipping a song. It's so basic, which I understand. But the problem is, most people, if you want to switch something up, now you're having to click buttons to get out of the CarPlay mode. It's just the whole purpose is for easier use while driving. And because of the absolutely dumbed down UI, it ends up, to me, being more distracting
Hmm.
than not because of that. Because you have to go into the setting and turn off the car view. It's just a pain in the ass. I just don't like it.
That's a good
And
reason.
you can disable it in the app settings, which is nice. But still, it's so dumbed down. It's useless in my opinion.
So, Gal, you said you don't use Spotify anymore.
No, I use YouTube Music.
You may start again now because they added. The Spotify is testing a new TikTok style video feed in its beta iOS app that shows full screen video clips as songs are played.
Okay, that's the time to leave them. Spotify are amazing at people went to Spotify in order to listen to music.
Right.
And they were the best at it. And they had the best catalog, and they had the best features for a while. And then Spotify decided that, oh, maybe these people who are interested in music, they would really like podcast being shown
Podcasts.
up to
Yes.
their face every 5 minutes. And I'm telling you, this is one aspect that I do not miss in Spotify, right? If they wanted to rule Spotify, that podcast world, fine, create a different app for it. But for me, it drove me away. That's not
But
the
here's
reason
the thing:
I switched,
there's a
because
there's
Yeah,
a
go.
reason for that.
Okay.
What do you?
It's the same. It's they're in the Netflix paradox of why has Netflix been so big
Talk about content creation.
on content? Why has Netflix been
Yeah.
so big on content creation? Because licensing is expensive as hell. And Spotify, based on what they are, they don't own anything. Everything on their platform, you listen to any song, you can listen to 3 seconds of a song or 3 minutes of a song, and they have to pay out royalties. Now, while those royalties might be low, it's still everything that you use on the service is costing Spotify money. So the reason that they've diversified into things like podcasts and paid Joe Rogan $100 million to come over to Spotify is that is now free content. and I agree with Gal. It is annoying because I don't use Spotify for pod. The only thing I do podcasting on Spotify every once in a while is listen to an episode of Joe Rogan. I use my other podcast app for everything else. But they're in the Netflix paradox where at a certain point in time, anytime anybody watched anything on Netflix, it costed them money. And that's not a winning business model. It doesn't scale and it doesn't work. So they've had to diversify. And that's why they're trying to do this stuff because they can't just be paying out money every single time somebody uses your service. It just doesn't work. That's the problem with Spotify and Apple Music and everybody else is you charge a subscription, great, but everything costs money.
With Pandora, I have their lowest level subscription, which is just to remove ads. It doesn't let you do some of the advanced features with playlists and other things. But only once did I get a message from them. Usually, if I fall asleep listening to music, I put a timer on so it turns off. One time I let it run, and I actually got a message from them saying, "Are you there? This is just running. You've been listening to music for 4.5 hours, and it just doesn't seem right." So
It doesn't seem right.
yeah, because we pay for
Uh,
every song.
Well, Pandora also relies on the interactions of likes and dislikes, right? Because if you do not rate, then they could not focus the playlist to your liking. So,
Yeah. Well, I don't use their playlists. I just use stations.
well, the station, it's called
Yeah.
a station.
So yeah, that it's a very tough issue for these companies that have an incredible amount of market share, but cost them a literal fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you're correct that it's on the balance sheet, and that is one aspect that they can probably never really do without. Um, but they chose the wrong content to produce
Well,
instead
I
of
don't necessarily
becoming their own
I
label.
disagree because in terms of them introducing podcasting, not only do they have curated content like Joe Rogan, but everybody else, like the Infection podcast and my radio show, that is 100% free content for Spotify. They pay
That's
nothing for it.
fantastic. Just don't put it in the music app. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but again, they're not
Music
gonna split their app into two. That from a usability standpoint, that's gonna just fragment their market share.
Yep.
I don't agree with it, but I understand. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. I wish you could turn it off and say, "Hey, I don't want to use podcasts on Spotify," and it just won't show you
Exactly.
anything. That would be great.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
That will
So
that will make me consider this again, right? But at this point, yeah.
you're talking about licensing and original content. Roku is also now said that next year they're working toward producing 50 some shows of their own
Hmm.
for the Roku channel.
Yeah.
And that's what Netflix is doing. So maybe they're late to the show here, but
Well, the Roku channel is relatively new. It
it's
hasn't been out all that.
it's amazing, that they apparently they're making enough money they can do that. And they said that most of the money comes from uh, ads, and second is selling of the devices.
Yeah, well, because Roku doesn't really have there's no subscription. It's not like you can
Mm-mm.
buy like Roku Premium or anything. It's just free.
Right.
So that's a yeah. I mean, the devices and they do like I remember during March Madness, the basketball tournament. Um, the background changes to say that and they've got a little thing on the side. Sometimes when a new movie comes out, you can buy if you're an advertiser, you can go to Roku and buy a takeover of people's Roku devices. Um,
Well,
So they,
think
yeah,
the
I'm
most
sure they
money they make from selling the buttons, the 4 buttons on the remote.
on the remote, yeah. Which,
That's
by the way,
true.
you cannot reprogram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cannot reprogram those. They are factory set, and whoever paid the most is on those
Is on
buttons.
it.
The
Yeah.
nice thing about the Roku Ultra, or whatever it's called, is there's literally a button that says 1 and 2,
Yeah, you
and
can.
you can reprogram those. They're custom buttons, which is nice. I wish that the other buttons weren't on there because I've never used them. But button 1 and 2 are nice.
Yup. All right. Hey, Spence,
Yes,
are you ready for special?
I'm ready for specials. I already did them. You didn't hear it?
That's
It was
right. You
so
Oh,
did.
my
Yeah.
mic was off. Oh, geez. I recorded it though. So I'm just
Oh.
going to start. I'll just start the recording now and I can go take a break for a while.
Oh.
Oh, what is tomorrow? Cyber Monday. I
Cyber
guess it
Monday.
doesn't mean that much anymore. Not what it used to anyway. So many people just buy stuff online anyway. The only store I went to on Black Friday was Lowe's, and it wasn't or Home Depot. It wasn't to buy any of the stuff they had out. I went there to buy landscape blocks, so they weren't on sale for Black Friday. Would have been nice. Can you imagine having a kiosk set out in the middle of the floor of the store or discount on landscape blocks for Black Friday? That'd be something. But all right, so
Anybody throw landscape blocks at you?
yeah, they have a contest though to see how far you can throw it.
That's in California.
Yeah, the landscape block toss. Yep, they do that. What they do is they unload all these landscape blocks outside of this next store they want to loot. So they just throw them through the windows, and that's how they get in. So I don't know about that situation out there. That's absolutely insane to me. And you got Hollywood maniacs apologizing. Well, this is just what comes with living in a big city. I guess you can't count on anybody protecting you from anything anymore. All right. So this particular specials is labeled Cyber Monday deals. And most of the stuff, I have to say, I took advantage of just searching through Amazon this time. Very easy. And I put links in here, but they're kind of global links that will take you to the page that I found the listing of all the things that I'm showing. So I don't have links to the specific products, but I have links to the pages where I found them. So it'd be easy to look. They're very well organized for stuff that's out there. And this is by no means a comprehensive list of anything because it's just thousands of things out there. But this is just stuff that grabbed my eye. So I love this last cartoon on the bottom right, where the two guys are in the Amazon warehouse and the guy says, wait, she just added this back into her cart. Where the guy takes it out and then has to put it back in again. It's kind of cute. I know it doesn't happen that way, but it's still interesting. All right. So all things Echo are on sale. Well, not all things. Most things Echo are on sale. So you can get an Echo Show for as little as $59, which is how much off is that? It's usually 109. So $50 off. Yeah. So not half price, but $50 off. And they've got the Echo Show second generation, which it's got a better camera, a few other things in it for $89, which is normally this is $128.99.
129.99.
$129.99. And an Echo Show, or an Echo Dot, I'm sorry, smart speaker for $29. And this link is to the same page you see here, where I just copied everything over. You can get the Echo Show 10 smart display with motion detection, some others. It's $249. But if this is what you use and this is what you like, and you think that motion detection is something important for your Alexa environment in the home, there it is. And also the high-end Echo Studio, which is the high fidelity smart speaker for Alexa, is $199. These are not sale prices, but look out there. They might put them on sale between now and the holidays. We'll see. Okay, so now we get into the holiday gifts and gadgets section, and this is under the Cyber Monday banner on Amazon. And they've got Blink outdoor cameras, all different kinds of bundles on sale from starting at $44.99. I went in there and looked, and the prices are decent. If you're in the Blink ecosystem, you want to add to your system, it's the time to do it now because everything is discounted. They've got an Amazon Halo View, which is a fitness watch on sale for $44.99, 38% off. Got a automotive jump starter for, well, now it says $19.99 to $98.99. Depends on which version of it you pick. Not all of them are jump starters, but the prices are very good. If you don't have one of these devices, they have made such huge leaps forward in the last couple of years. These tiny devices, glove compartment devices you can keep in your car that will jump a car multiple times on one charge. Plus, they're charging stations for USB. Plus, they have built-in flashlights. So they're really very, very handy. And they come in all different flavors and types.
Yep.
I have one. I've used it multiple times on different vehicles before I charged it up. And I looked at the capacity, and even after doing like 3 jumps, it still said I had 89% capacity. And they work great.
I
They're
have no
very,
idea how
very
they do
safe.
it. But it's
What's
like
that?
I also have no idea how they do it, but it's like
It's
magic.
amazing.
I agree.
Well,
Yeah.
it is lithium ion technology, but I don't know how. Now, maybe they really control, they might have a capacitor in there that just makes it so that they're not draining the battery real fast.
Just
They
so
put
you,
out that,
just so you know, it will not work if the battery is completely dead on the car.
no, that's true.
Not true.
That's true.
Your battery
true.
was completely dead and it worked.
Mine wasn't, but I've watched YouTube videos of completely dead batteries.
It depends on the peak it creates. It can still start a dead battery. It doesn't start the dead battery, but it can still start with a dead battery if it can provide enough amp at the beginning on its own.
I tried
Real
it.
quick though, there's 2 different things to note. There's a shorted battery, which it will not do, and then
Right.
there's a drained battery. It will do
Well,
a drained
shorted-
battery. If you have a shorted battery, you're
No, no.
SOL.
Yeah.
Yeah, a shorted battery wouldn't work anyway.
Yeah.
But the shorted battery will show up. Usually they have a display and will tell you battery condition. And if it's kind of like, anybody ever used an AED?
What?
An AED, an automated defibrillator? I've
Mm-mm.
never
Never
used it
used
on
one,
a
I know what it
live
is.
person, but I've gone through many sessions of training on how this stuff works. It's the same idea. You hook the patient up and it will detect whether the AED is going to work. This is going to, you hook it up to your car, which is the patient here, and it will say, I can or cannot, ready to start. And it will tell you. It's that smart. It will detect the condition of the battery.
Well,
It will detect a short.
all I'm saying is we had a dead car. Hannah's car was parked here for about 6 months, and the battery drained. And when she came to pick it up, I said, "Oh, hey, we have that." And Nick, I have the same one that you got, and hooked it to it, and it just went click. And I said, "Oh, it's not full." I took it to check. No, it's full. Tried it again. Click. So
And when you hooked it up, you got the green light because it has a sensor
Yeah.
before you started, right? It needs to be green.
Well, I don't remember any of that. All I know is that I went ahead and got my regular charger that will start the car and started it and let it charge for about a minute and took it back, put it in the garage, and then switched off the car. I said, that should be okay. Try to start. It just went click. I said, oh, shoot. So then
could
I
be
got
this-
that again and I put it on the battery that went click by itself and it did start.
Well, it's not a guarantee. It's not a
Yeah,
not
I'm
every
just-
condition is the same.
Yeah. Just so,
My girlfriend's car was dead last week.
yeah.
Dead. Like HUD light the dead
Nothing.
enough that the doors wouldn't even unlock with
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
remote.
Mhm.
Like just open it up, no lights come on, nothing. And I used that and it started.
Oh, all
Now
right.
that wasn't dead for months. Like I assume she left her door cracked overnight, and the dome light stayed on and killed the battery. So it wasn't dead.
Yeah.
It wasn't
But
dead for 6 months, but it started it first off.
nevertheless, it's a good thing to have in the car.
It
It's a
is a
cheap
thing to
good
have.
thing to have.
Yeah.
In the car.
Yes, and the prices make it now. If you're a Costco member, they have their own. I don't know if it's their brand, but it says Costco on the package. So I guess it might not be their specific brand, but they have their version of it. And they sell a couple of different versions of it, starting in the $50 range that are very good. That's the kind I have.
Hmm.
And they really are excellent devices. The one I have actually has USB C ports on it, which is nice for charging. So,
All right.
all right. Now, this next one, Amazon Basics Micro SD card, may not seem like a good deal for $142. It's a 1 terabyte card. I said, wow, what could possibly be $142 on sale? And I went and looked and I said, damn, what devices actually support this? Can you put this in your phone? Recognize 1 terabyte?
I know that's the thing. I was wondering if they took away the limit of SD cards from new devices.
I don't know. I don't know. So you got to look at compatibility. But
Yeah.
this particular link or this particular offer there goes from the smallest, like 16 gig, all the way up to 1 terabyte. So they have all different sizes depending on what you need.
Mm-hmm.
But and I did see another. I was out there poking around looking at this, and I did see another vendor also makes 1 terabyte micro SD cards. So check compatibility. All right. So here we have the infamous Fire Stick. If you're into Fire Sticks, now's the time to buy it because you've got the basic Fire Stick for $19.99. You've got the 4K for $24.99, and you have the 4K Max for $34.99. So if you're going to do it, now's the time. All the Blink smart cameras are on sale, and if you're into the Blink ecosystem. All right, so this next device, I'm departing from the typical tech stuff, although this is a Bluetooth device. If you're a chef and you have a need for a precise temperature for cooking, soup, boiling things, pre-cooking things, whatever, this is a highly controlled, regulated heater. It's a 1,000 watt or 1,100 watt. They call it a Sue something or other. I can't pronounce it. Yeah, so I can't pronounce the name. I know people that have them. And it's a very precise way to cook at specific temperatures. And to some dishes, apparently, it's really important that they get cooked. They don't get overcooked, undercooked, or whatever. And it's Bluetooth controlled. So and Wi-Fi too. That's the cool thing about it. It's Wi-Fi for Bluetooth for close by, Wi-Fi for distance. You can have this sitting in the kitchen. You could be at your neighbor's house. Oh, I need to start the water for something, for my pasta. And it has to be 189 degrees or whatever. This will do that thing. So it's on sale, different versions of it. The Breville brand. And also the next one is a 7,500 lumen projector for $55.99. The normal price is only $89. I know they've gotten so much cheaper over the years.
Wonder how much the bulb is.
$1,000. But hey, for this price, you use it, the bulb goes bad, you throw it away and you buy another one.
Buy another one.
Yeah. So this doesn't look like the micro type, the really tiny small ones. It's slightly larger. Remember they used to have the really small travel ones you take with you and you set it up in an office. And well, this looks like it's larger than that. But hey, I thought about getting back into this again for certain. I just don't have a good room in my house. I have a screen. I have a very good wall-mounted screen I could pull down, like a professional screen. But I literally don't have a room that I can install it on the wall. But cool idea for $59.99. Crucial, all of their Crucial SSDs are on sale.
Just to go back to this, back 96, I bought one for the internet center for the class. It was 6,000 lumens. and it was over $8,000.
Sounds good.
It
You
was
know, I
yeah, amazing,
you know what's
amazing,
funny, Amnon? I remember
and it
Think
was
it
I
was
was
huge
only at
too.
the Internet Center a couple of times.
Yeah,
I think the very first time I met you, remember I was looking
yeah,
for
yep,
hosting, but one of the other times I was there, I remember you talking about the projector that you just bought,
yeah.
you know,
It's
a long
just
time ago.
I mean, you look at this now, see, dang.
I know.
Yeah. All right, go on. Never mind.
It doesn't mention in the ad though what the resolution is. So I guess
Oh,
that's
I'm sure it's at least 1,024 by
yeah,
768.
yeah,
The other one was just 640 by 480. That was it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that even when you tried to show video with that, it was pretty bad.
Yep.
Like the bigger it got worse.
Mhm.
So okay. So we have 1 terabyte Crucial SSD for 84.99. Got a USB flash drive, multi-connection adapter. It says it works with Android, Apple, and computer. So it's got Lightning, it's got USB, micro USB. I don't know if it has, I guess it must have C also. I don't know. Didn't check that. But also regular USB 512 for 19.99.
I wonder if what you see there under the front of it are actual support to hold it so it doesn't put weight on the port. It looks
Good
like
question.
it's
It could just be a cover.
yeah, I don't know.
But it would if it does that, I don't know if I'd rather have it lay flat. But you're right, it could be.
what
Depends.
the two-way USB,
Yeah, it's got the USB. Um,
That's right. You can put a USB at the back of it, the tail of it.
just the
That's
cover.
just a cover. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
oh,
you have this one?
I have not this one, but a similar one. This
Yeah.
one is actually an SD card reader.
interesting.
So
We
yeah,
we we're not seeing it. Wait a second.
I know.
Here
But
now.
Oh, it's just a.
usually it's just the
You can
cover.
show it
So
now.
yeah, so this one, as I said, is an SD card. There's this little lever will push the SD card out of it. It goes into
Uh huh.
this end. Yeah. So you know, in a USB A, you have a block and you have the space, right? So that blocks is actually an SD
An
card as
Oh,
SD
well.
card.
that's clever.
Yeah,
Huh.
I think I can show it if I can find one. But
It's
so this
okay.
one on USB-C, right? So the USB-C is covered and protected. So what you see in that picture is just a cover. So
Okay.
it's not like
Yeah.
lever or anything.
All
Yeah.
right. I mean, I just it
I
looks like
wonder how they do it with if it's Lightning for iPhones. So
Same idea. I saw a a, a three-way pronged one, right? Where you had like a 90 degrees one showing like USB from one side, Lightning from one side, and USB from the other. It's just wiring basically at the end. So and a
yeah.
small chip. Yeah,
so are
All right.
all iPhones still Lightning or the newer ones USB-C?
I think they're still Lightning. I haven't heard
Yeah, I
about it.
don't remember. I just tried to look quick, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
they'll adapt USB-C. It'll make a lot of noise. You know, there'll be a lot of people for it. There'll be a lot of disgruntled people that they need to replace their cables once again. But
Yeah.
I think it's it's the only move they haven't done yet.
Well, and the original excuse was for real estate, why they adopted Lightning, and now
Yeah,
USB-C fixes that problem. So
Well, I don't know because
I don't buy it.
When I got the iPad for Kathy, Hannah was asking if I'm using the USB-C charger on it. She's got an iPhone 12, so she knew about it because it charges faster. So I'm wondering.
oh, it
But
comes
I
with a
don't know.
Lightning to USB cable. When I
Oh,
got
okay.
my new iPhone, it came with a Lightning to USB-C cable.
Okay, maybe that's what
So
it
a
was. Okay,
short
never mind.
cable.
All
Yeah.
right.
So I could use USB to cheat a charge it.
Okay.
Yeah.
you could use your
Okay.
laptop to charge it, for example, right?
Mhm.
It's like yeah.
Yeah. It's only going to be, low amps, low amps.
All right.
Um, So now let's jump into kind of a more general product category. Cordless, a Dewalt 20-volt max cordless driver kit. Now for $99, this is, if you go to Lowe's and Home Depot, you have a hard time finding this stuff below $100. Close, maybe a little above. I'm not. They might have a super special deal, but this is an excellent deal on a
Yeah,
Dewalt tool.
again, I got Anna at the wall. It was on special, but it was 129, but it
Yeah.
also had an impact gun. It two
Yeah,
devices.
two tools. They do have this.
Yeah.
Is if you click on this, it takes you to the page that shows you
The
other
two.
options. But this particular one,
Unbelievable. Yeah.
2 batteries and a charger
Yep.
and a drill.
Yep.
So batteries are. I always, when I see Ryobi, which is what I'm standardized on, when I see their batteries on sale, when they have a good deal on them, I buy them, and I still have stuff new in the cabinet in my garage because the prices were so good. Because normally to replace a battery is $100.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, the batteries are expensive for these tools.
And now now they're up to 5 ampere hours, I think is the latest one. I had the original ones were like 1 point something, and then they came out with a 2, they came out with a 3. All the ones I have are 3s and 4s now, the high capacity. Now they have a 5, and I think they're working on a 6, which is amazing. Expensive, they'll last forever. But
and Dewalt is a good tool.
It's a good brand. It's good. It's like the top end brand. If you don't get into what's that other really expensive brand? Fine, something like that. It's really high end. It's good stuff. But all right. So a very general link here to Cyber Monday laptops starting at $204.99 and up. This next one is a solar charger power bank. What's cool about this is it's got wireless charging built in. It's 10,000 milliamps. It's got USB ports. It's got a flashlight. And what is that, a compass? I can't tell what that is. It looks like it comes with a compass. Who cares? Whatever. But the point is that this is a
what?
It's just a strap and a compass on the strap.
Yeah. So I guess if you're an outdoor person, this makes it appeal to you more.
It's to find the sun.
You're right. Yeah. Well, I don't know when's the sun going to come up. Got to point this so it catches all the rays during the day. But the solar part of it is cool. I don't know how fast the charging is, but would still be. This is a great survival device too. You think about it.
Yeah, if you buy the one without the compass, it's $23.19. If you buy the one with, it's $23.99.
That's it. Yeah, it's 80 cents for the compass.
I'll tell you one thing. The most ridiculous part of these chargers it comes with the warning slip. One of the things is do not leave in the sun on your dashboard because it cannot control the heat. Yeah.
Do you know how? Do you know how I keep mine? I've got 2 of them. How I keep them charged up?
What, your office light?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're there on the desk.
And I think you'll discover, right, that with an office light, the draining for the LED is higher than what it gets from the office light, from the charging LED. It doesn't stop flashing ever. There's always draining. So I don't know. I have one similar in size, like the one that's displayed.
Yeah.
It's a nice gimmick. First of all, it's bulky, right? So it's great for travel because it can last. It can last. You know, it can. You can charge 2 phones and get 3 times their charge out of it. So it's great, but the solar side of it, yeah, I'm not sure. It's more of a gimmick, I think, than anything right now. It's not there yet.
I don't know. It works. All right.
All right. Moving on from there. this is if you've never used this device, it's not for everybody, but people who have, usually it's chiropractors who push this. But we have one and it works. I've used it. I haven't used it recently. And we have one that works great. It's called TENS, which is an electro stimulation pad that you put on your body. Usually you put them pretty close together and it will stimulate the muscles. I mean, you can turn this up to the point where it really hurts. I mean, you don't want to do it that high. It's not, but it can take tense muscles and just gently stimulate them. Different settings, different pulse sequences, and all that stuff. Programmable. These are great. The prices have come down. This control panel, the one I have, is very simple. What's nice about the one I have is the pads. You can wash them and they're reusable. Wipe them off. They don't wear out over time. They stay sticky. But they're great if you have like muscle tension or something like that, and heat doesn't work. $23.99, and this may not even be available anymore because this was a ends in 9 hours deal, and there's some of these where you see the progress bar. Once they put a specific number of these out there, they're gone, and they say done, 100% claim. So this one was already at 75% at 7:15 this morning. So who knows? But it may still be available. Okay. Otterbox stuff on sale. Up to 64% on Otterbox stuff. The newest, greatest stuff is not going to be on this greatest sale. But if you have an older phone, like I have the SE phone and I wanted to replace my case, I can get the really good Defender case for 20 something bucks, which is great. It used to be 59 when it was new. So Otterbox stuff, really good cases for mobile phones. Bose Quiet Comfort. This may not seem like such a great deal. I think this is their latest generation, the 45. I have the one down from this. And even on sale at Costco, I think I paid $259 for it 3 years ago. So $279 if it's the latest generation, which I just heard someone say that it was more expensive, but it was worth it. It was just like, you thought the old ones were good. The new one is even better. So, but take a look at this. They've got a sale. 15% off, not a lot. TCL 40-inch smart Roku TV for $229, which is 34% off. Got a Kindle Paperwhite for kids. I don't know how people handle getting the kids to read. I don't know that kids need to start out with real books, I think, just to get them used to it. So they're not. It's like when we made a mistake with our oldest daughter when she was little, that we had a digital clock in the house. And she never saw what an analog clock looked like until she got older. And she struggled at first when she was like 10 years old to read an analog clock. So we made sure with the other ones that we had clocks, real clocks real analog clocks. But kind of like letting a kid use Velcro instead of tying their shoes. Some people say, oh, to make it easy for the kid. No, you want to learn how to tie their shoes. But this a kid's version, I don't know that it's got special software on it or whatever. Maybe it's parental. I don't know. I think it's probably parental control.
The kids version is basically a warranty cover for if it's the same as the Kindle TV. The tablet. And it's for 2 years. You break it up to 2 or 3 times, and you get just a free replacement.
That's cool too.
So, yeah.
But that makes it even better. But getting kids involved. There's lots of kids books out there. A lot of free stuff that you can get, and just getting a kid into reading and make it as easy as possible for them to read.
Yeah, a lot of the classics are royalty free. Because
it's really good. There's there's websites you can go to that have great selections. Amazon has stuff on their webpage that's free. So good stuff. Classics, you can get most classics out there now you can get for free. Right. And there are some authors publish their books for free or very low cost. Budding authors, if you can check them out, you can get 99-cent Kindle books because they're trying to build an audience, self-published. So okay, this next one, I didn't specifically go out looking for a juicer, but what fascinated me, it says Masticating Juicer. So to just have like a set of dentures in there that chews on it to masticate it, to smooth, to make it. I just thought it was so funny that they called it that instead of chopping or whatever, masticating juicer. But actually, it's pretty good. 53. What the difference is between 53 and 55, I don't know. I didn't click on it, but I just was fascinated by it. And here it shows the liquid side and the pulp side of whatever it is you're. Actually, it looks like a vacuum cleaner or something. It's kind of weird, but I thought it was fascinating. Masticating, that it chews up the pulp for you. All right, so this next one is just a interesting. Now, this is another one of these things with a progress bar, so it's going. A Bluetooth projector for, I think it's for a child's room, but it probably a lot of different applications for it. Nightlight, LED nightlight projector, and it's $23.99, 20% off. Thought it was pretty neat. These next two things are for you, Amnon. This printed drawstring hoodie, $22. I really like that pattern. I think that'll go over good for you. And the last one here is, are you worried about hair growth, Amnon?
No.
No. Well, if you were, you need to get this helmet, which uses LED light to stimulate growth. Notice it says FDA cleared.
Yeah.
Doesn't say FDA approved.
Right.
Doesn't say FDA tested. It just says it. In other words, this doesn't hurt you.
I don't know, because that may all it means. I'm wondering is that, yeah, FDA said they will look at it.
Well, it could be that it means that this we know that this isn't going to hurt you. We have no idea if it'll help, but at least you put this on, it's not going to fry your head. So
what FDA never says it will help you. They never go into.
They just say cleared, or that they said it's safe. It doesn't mean it does anything.
Yeah, it's safe, exactly.
Yeah. So, but I saw a commercial recently. It was one we were watching. If anybody's watched Hulu lately, they now have this option when a commercial comes on certain shows where you can pick a 30-second interactive commercial or watch 2.5 minutes of just regular commercials. So sometimes you pick the interactive stuff. But one of the regular commercials was one of these LED hair growth helmets. It was hysterical to watch it. I thought it was good. It was actually amusing. So I thought it was good entertainment to watch it. But showed people in different life situations where this came in handy.
Look,
all right, guys.
I'm looking at the page of the before and after photos. If that's true, this is impressive.
Amazing. Can you use it on any part of your body? How about you put your elbows in them, for every night for a couple hours? You wind up with hairy elbows.
Oh,
it's
man.
so funny. You look back at history. I was watching a movie on Amazon called The Electric Life of Louis Wayne. He was a guy who was this incredible artist in the 1880s in England who drew cats, but he was very into electricity. It's how life is connected, and you need to find out about electricity and the attitude towards electricity in the Victorian world, 1880s to the early 1900s, was that there were all these devices to cure you of everything by shocking you. It was incredible what they made, but these things remind me of that day back then. Where if you have flatulence, just wear this electric device because it'll solve your problem. It's like, and some people hurt themselves, because of this stuff was not regulated at all. So, all right. I did want to bring up one thing.
Go ahead.
Just at the end of this, because it is actually a product. I want to put a CarPlay radio into a car that I have. And I've been looking, I thought that CarPlay, and I looked at them a couple of years ago, very expensive. They just were now you can get one for $99 at Walmart. An actual double DIN video screen with it's got all the features of CarPlay plus a backup camera with the camera that you can put in there that you can hook it up to somehow works with your backup light circuit to tell it to switch to the camera, but you can also just switch to the camera. You just want to say you ride along, you want to look at the camera in the back. I don't know how safe that is.
You want to see who is that following you?
Yeah, well, you can. I don't know that it would be nice if it could record it, but the point is that they talk about the CarPlay features, which is where you plug in an iPhone and it brings up supported app icons on the screen. And they started out in the beginning of that, there were only about 10 things that were supported. The only mapping function that was the Apple Maps, but now it supports Google Maps and Waze and other stuff. But it's a really great way to have navigation as part of it without having to activate a GPS radio. So, but I'm looking at getting one, but $99.
Yeah,
But
it's amazing. And if you want to spend 107, you get one that has a couple of other features by the same manufacturer.
Spence, look for wireless CarPlay.
Oh yeah, this is USB CarPlay.
All you
That's
need
right.
is Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And then all you need is Bluetooth. Yeah.
Well, actually, this says Mirror Link Bluetooth, so that should work. I'll have to check to make sure that works. The one that we have in Pam's car is not the wireless version.
Yeah,
it was an earlier version.
Literally, in cars, I know it's literally just latest year models that have it. Like
this one says
2021, 2022. So.
And now I think where it says Mirror Link Bluetooth, I think they mean Mirror Link, Bluetooth, because there's no comma there, because it says in the small print, Mirror Link with Android phone and iOS phone by USB cable.
Right, but also check, some of them also have Android Auto, so you don't really need Mirror Link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also supports like 15 languages, which is very important to me.
The 2010 truck pickup that I got, the F-150, has a video screen for different things. No camera. But the GPS was actually worthless. First of all, it was from back then. Nobody ever updated it. So in most places that you go to, I mean, no, there is no such thing. And in our area, there's a lot of development that you want to know. And I always thought about updating the map.
How much?
I did it last week. 149 from Ford.
Was it worth it?
I did not even try it yet, but it took almost 6 hours.
Oh.
The nice thing to begin with, I had to sit in the truck, and with the engine running, they said, don't turn it off for about half an hour. And then it came up and it says, at this point, you can drive the car, use it, or turn it off. And it kept on doing it. And I mean, I'm saying it took almost that long, but it could have stopped earlier. I mean, I left it, I turned off the car and came in the house and said, oh yeah, I need to go change the CD. I mean, the DVD maybe. And it finished. I need to try it. I didn't have a chance with Thanksgiving and all that. I didn't have a chance, but I'm sure it has the latest. And that took it from 2010 to 2019.
Oh.
But that's the latest that they had. There's nothing.
Who did you get it from?
From Ford.
From Ford? Yeah. Yeah. That's why I like the CarPlay thing, because you can use whatever app you like on your phone, and it does a great job of mirroring it up there. And it is a touchscreen.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I think I'm sure the GPS companies, they knew when they came out with GPS apps on phones that their days were numbered. So I still have a TomTom GPS that I will use, but yeah.
All right. This, I mean, I still don't understand it exactly, but whatever. Microsoft Edge recently gained a feature that allows people to pay for online purchases in installment. It's known as Buy Now, Pay Later, BNPL, and it's currently in testing on Microsoft Edge, Dev, and Canary. The option drew criticism from fans and users of the browser that expressed frustration in the comments section of the post announcing the feature. The center of most complaints is the belief that Microsoft Edge is becoming bloated with shopping features rather than delivering a pure browsing experience. BNPL is optional, but its detractors are against the concept of Edge having shopping features built in. And it just goes ranting about that thing. But I don't understand. What do you mean Edge will let you do buy now, pay later? Edge, what? You have to put your bank information in there?
Think about this way.
Yeah.
Assume you on a Chrome browser, okay?
Yeah.
Assume on a Chrome browser you install an add-on that whenever payment information is required, then it provides the details of the credit card,
Mm-hmm.
right? Instead of putting your credit card, it'll put a different set of
Yeah. Like,
credit card information, and you pay. Let's say PayPal, they give you a credit card number, right? Or
yeah.
like privacy generates a kind of number. So I think it's the same idea. It's just this plugin basically baked into the browser, and it provides a service that Pay Now, and it might be Microsoft backed, or it just might be some third party financing that that is just in cahoots with Microsoft, and they're baking it into the default browser on the OS. Sounds like a money scheme on Microsoft side, and
I don't
see
know. I
any.
mean,
As long as you can disable it, I don't see any problem with it. So
it goes that even the Bing features are getting too aggressive. There's something about it. Cameron
well,
Bush
first thing
states, asks for Microsoft to reconsider the addition. This sounds like an awful idea that would only be seen as a shameless cash grab and or bloat. You see, it's what?
It's a cash grab. Why add shameless to it? They are trying to make money. Use it or don't use it.
But how
I
are
don't
they making money? That's what I don't understand. What?
No, I'm not. Look, how is PayPal making money? How?
No,
How
PayPal is like a bank. Yeah, they
how is
finance it.
money?
Microsoft is not financing your
You said
pay now,
Microsoft financing. Pay now,
buy now, pay later.
buy now, pay later. It's probably either a third-party provider of the service, and it's baked into the default browser.
And they
There's
pay. Oh, and
another
well,
there's another entity in the middle that nobody's talking about. That's all.
yeah. But then, so you think that Microsoft is making money from
Of
those
course,
third?
just
Okay, all right, okay,
by
all right.
the fact that it's baked in. Look, Microsoft already on Edge already has like Get Honey and
Yeah,
Rakuten, right? All of those eBay rebates.
yeah.
So Microsoft already has that baked into Edge.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
That's
and
fine.
Microsoft does run Bing Rewards, right? So it already has like a rewarding scheme where it provides, I wouldn't say income, but it provides like some sort of credits, right, to
Okay.
its users.
I
So
love
maybe
Bing Rewards.
that part of so maybe it's just that part of the business. Maybe they are just expanding into also actual money crediting.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't
That's
see. Look, I get the critique. I don't get the uproar. I don't get this isn't a big deal. This is the only way to convince a company like Microsoft not to put it there is by people switching it off. They have feedback about everything that is happening in the app, in the OS, right? You click the I agree at the beginning to send them feedback to send all of the biometrics, not biometrics, but all of the
Information that they're looking for, yeah.
that, right? It tracks the usage of these. The only way to actually effectively, right, convince a company not to support something is to constantly complain about its technical issues and to stop using it, right? If something is costing the company more than it's bringing in, that is when they'll take it out. Any other complaint is just plain whining. Stop whining.
Amen.
And
What, Nick?
I said amen.
Oh, amen. Oh,
Yeah, amen.
no, well,
Reach.
all right. We were talking about NSO last week, about the Israeli company that was blacklisted and because of
yeah,
them providing spyware. Well, the follow-up to that is goes here. The Israeli government has restricted the list of countries to which local security firms are allowed to sell surveillance and offensive hacking tools by almost two-thirds, cutting the official cyber export list from 102 to 37 entries. The new list, obtained by Israeli business newspaper Calcalist, only includes countries with proven democracies. The list noticeably removed autocratic regimes. What?
calculist,
Yeah,
calculist. Come on, you know
I don't
that
know. I don't know who's
calculist. It's like the major. It's like Forbes over here.
okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't keep up with that. Spyware developed by Israeli companies like Kandiru and the NSO Group has been linked to recent years in human rights abuse in tens of countries, with the tools being used by the local governments to spy on reporters, activists, dissidents, and political rivals. It's interesting. I don't know
Well,
that that's going to fix their problem.
as an Israeli, I can say it's very interesting because Israel government was always
Doing that.
duplicitous. Is that a word?
Yes.
Yeah. So they were always two faced about this,
Oh.
right? It's like they would frown about it, but it would be allowed. This is the first time that they're actually doing something against selling, basically selling sort of weaponry to your enemies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it does seem a bit like a publicity stunt and not like actual being
Right.
like it's
That's what
going.
I'm.
Because one of the thing is, right, a company like NSO already has those customers lined up. Some of them are already paying them, right? Uh, so what? They're going to lay down and accept that. Um, it just sounds like these companies are just going to position themselves, change their headquarters addresses to somewhere in Europe
Mhm.
or US where they can more freely do these dealings instead of just going through the Israeli government. It's a nice publicity stunt. It should have been there way long ago, right? It shouldn't be a news article right now. But yeah, it's like, oh, somebody caught me red-handed. Let me show them I didn't mean it.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah,
We'll have to wait and see.
doesn't feel sincere.
Yeah.
As
All
an
right.
Israeli saying that.
Here
So
is something for each and every one of us to be aware of and maybe do something. According to data collected by Microsoft's network of honeypot servers, most brute force attackers primarily attempt to guess short passwords with very few attacks targeting credentials that are either long or contain complex characters. The writer says, I analyze the credentials entered from uh, over 1 million brute force attacks against SSH. This is around 30 days of data in Microsoft Sensor network. This is coming from Ross Bevington, a security researcher at Microsoft. 77% of attempts used a password between 1 and 7 characters. A password over 10 characters was only seen in 6% of cases. He is the head of deception at Microsoft. So, yeah, you need to use longer password. It's if you used to your password and you remember it, add a few more characters to it that will mean something to you. It's easy to remember it.
People have heard me here talk about
Yeah,
Bitwarden
right.
for a while now. One of the features the password generator at Bitwarden does, it can create just a password with a lot of complex characters
Mhm.
and symbols and all that, but it also has the option to create a passphrase, and you
Right.
just use the number of words. So think about it. 3 word, and when you choose just 3 words, for example, it usually defaults to longer words.
Mhm.
But remembering 3 words compared to remembering a 12 character complex bunch of random characters, remembering 3 words is a lot easier if you are adamant in remembering it. It's also a lot easier to type because your muscle memory and your fingers for typing these days, right, will go to typing a word that means something a lot easier than remember a set of random characters that you need to remember.
Mhm.
So look at randomly generating passphrases instead of just passwords.
Or
It's going to be
create your own
yeah, no, no.
passphrases.
When you're creating them, it needs to be random. That's all I
Yeah.
mean. So and the longer it is, and by longer I mean 20 characters or more, which sounds a lot, right? It sounds a lot, but if it's 20 characters in 3 words with a couple of dashes in the middle, it's easy to remember,
Mhm.
right? So, and it's not hard to manage, and it's not that terrible to type. I'm telling you from experience. There is one very long password I have on my password manager, right? Which is a complete passphrase with with spaces and stuff, right? It's like a
It's a
complete phrase.
story.
It's a sort of story, right? And when I use it today, when I type it, it's like sometimes I need to retype it just because I'm typing it too fast, right? And
Mhm.
I'm interchange the character. So use long characters, longer words. Just use a
Yeah.
bunch of words, long words if you can. Doesn't need to be long words. It can be 5 words, right? And you still go beyond. I think the absurdity is that a lot of services which are supposed to be secure, let's say a bank, right? They would limit you to only 12 characters, and with it,
Yeah.
it'll make it hard on you to create the password. And that password that they are forcing you to create isn't more secure than you being able to put in, I don't know, as a 64 character long
Mhm.
password, which can be easy for you to remember. So always try to make it long, and always try to make it multi-factor, right?
Yeah, and Chrome now is gonna force, apparently, uh, two-factor. I think before
How
at the
about
end of the
Google?
year, they're gonna force you to the two-factor authentication when you log into Google or Gmail.
Yeah, I think they already do it in a way.
No, they don't, because I don't.
It's really hard to disable it these days on Google. So I
I
don't
think
know
if you
about.
log in from a new device, Amnon, it will force you to use two-factor. If you're using a device that's known, it won't do it.
Oh, maybe then. Yeah, okay. So this is, yeah, passwords are
Security is
something that
still
we
in the
are
way of-
all. Sorry, you were saying?
Security is still in the way of people instead of helping people
Yeah,
be secure. Yeah.
yeah, but I
Well, if you're
mean,
looking for a good example
yeah,
of those passwords that Gal's talking about, if you have you got your Wi-Fi provided by your ISP, their password was probably something like uh, warm Sunday red 82 or something like that. That's kind of like you've probably seen that if you pull up the label on your access point from your ISP, you'll see something similar to that. That's what they've gone to, because before it used to just be a random set of letters and numbers like you would have, like we expected, and now they've gone to phrases instead of those random numbers, and it's good because it both helps you remember it instead of, you know, one capital G, lowercase f, up arrow, at sign, all this just random, which was very hard to remember.
yeah.
I
The
think the
phrases,
best, they should change them all to be change me, dumbass.
there is a, when you install a lot of services like some of the Docker stuff, programs like that, and services like that, some of those passwords are by default change me 123 or something like that. I'm sure plenty of people do not change it from change me
That's the
123.
problem. That is the problem.
That's not a problem. If you install a service or sign up for a service or install something and the default password is change me 123 and you don't change it, that's on you.
That
I
that
have no
is on you.
sympathy.
And you know what? The EU now is trying to pass a law
Oh, what a surprise.
that there are no default passwords.
This is why government is useless.
Devices should. No. I can see this.
Right, that's good law.
You have to log in, and it says, "Okay, now create a password." There is no password, but it will not let you leave it without a password. But you have to create a password, and then, yeah, it's on you. I agree. But to have 1, 2, 3, 4, I mean, it's ridiculous, and a lot of people leave that. Yeah, they don't
Habits die
bother.
hard.
What?
Old habits die hard.
Yeah, it's a shame.
There was a story here a couple of weeks ago that I read on the air. This lady owns a company that does um, they do all of the logistics for marathons and races, like the tracking of the times and the badges or the pins and things that you put on your shirt, sign up and all that. And that she got locked out of her Facebook account, and not because somebody hacked her personal account, hacked, got her password. She didn't have two-factor authentication on, obviously, and they went into the page, deleted all the admins, and took over the page. And it was weeks and weeks of trying to get through to Facebook because the person that compromised her account posted a bunch of porn, and that, again, of course, is against Facebook's community standards. So then Facebook suspended her account. And while I had sympathy for her a little bit, if your business, if your livelihood is on your Facebook page, and you can't, Facebook always annoys you to put on two-factor authentication, just like a lot of these other services. When you sign in, it'll say, "Oh, would you like to set up two-factor? Turn on or remind me later." You click remind me later over and over and over again. You kind of, I'm not saying you get what you deserve, but you do. Again, if your livelihood is on Facebook and you can't bother to install two-factor, you don't even need two-factor authentication. I mean, something as simple as where it sends a freaking email code. I mean, you don't have to use Authenticator. You don't even have to use the SMS. Something as simple as email authentication. If you can't be bothered to implement that and put that on, I don't have any sympathy.
There's a
Sorry to be
solution.
so rash about it, but it's the truth.
There's a solution. Just don't use Facebook.
Yeah, well,
Isn't
people
it
guess so.
amazing?
is selling service. That's not.
Oh,
But when it
Yeah,
comes
and
to
they have like they have like 100,000 likes on their page, and that's how they communicate with race goers. People that come from all over the area, all over the state to race in these things, and that's how they communicate. And she couldn't get through Facebook support. It wasn't until a friend of a friend of a friend that knew somebody that worked at Facebook, because that's the other problem. These companies don't have support. If you have an issue with your Gmail account, you're not calling Google. There's no such thing. There is no Google phone support. If you have an issue with Facebook, there is no phone number. You're not calling Facebook. You do it through email. And because her account had been dinged with a community standard violation, they just ignored her and said no. They don't, because it's all automated. So I mean, that's if that stuff is truly so important to you and so important to your livelihood, at a certain point, it's incumbent on you to get your head out of the sand and figure it out.
Yeah, you need. I mean, in this day and age, you cannot just set it and forget it kind of thing. You need to be involved with what you're doing there, and you need to know what's happening there every day. I mean, what is that? Days before you find out that
Well, she is
something's
active,
going.
but the problem is she didn't have any security in place.
Yeah.
Along those same lines of bad customer service and trying to undo something. Did you see the story about the FTC? Now, take it for what the statement says. Ramping up enforcement against companies that manipulate people into starting subscriptions or that make it difficult to cancel services.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Yeah,
did?
last week.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's awesome. Make it.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
easy.
I'm sorry.
Black
Go ahead.
patterns, right? They're just all over the road. Yeah, go ahead.
Spence, you just said bad customer support. I don't think Facebook has bad customer support. Now, obviously, it's easy to sit there and say that they do, but with the amount of users that they have,
yeah, it's hard to respond.
if they had a phone number,
Forget it.
I mean, their wait time would be 9 freaking hours because people be calling in with ridiculousness. So it's one of those tough things.
So they haven't created an AI yet that can answer the phone.
I'm really surprised that every time I have to call Amazon for a complaint or something that I got something wrong or something broken, and I want to talk to somebody. You hardly ever have to wait. It is bang bang, and you're getting in.
Did you know
Money.
that the contract for Amazon support in the United States has the call center in Costa Rica?
Oh.
Because Costa Rica has a high number of English-speaking people because it's taught in schools at a young age. So the kids, adults can speak English very well. So you notice that when you talk to the Amazon people, you might notice a slight accent.
Right.
But they're well-trained Costa Rican call centers.
Oh.
I met a guy when I was on the cruise, the tour guide we had worked for the call center under contract when there was no tours. So he told us about that experience of working for Amazon. He said it was very good. And so they treated him good.
Very interesting. All right. Cell phones. We were talking last week about Boost having a great rate, $100 a year. Last Monday, the Federal Communications Commission voted to approve Verizon Wireless's purchase of Tracfone.
Right.
In a deal worth more than $6 billion, positioning Verizon to become one of the largest prepaid service providers in the U.S. So another little one Tracfone is not that little, but it's becoming now part of a behemoth.
Oh, it represents a whole different concept, which is what, and now then Verizon is going to leave it alone, right? And let it operate autonomously? No.
Right. All right. I think that's about it. Oh, just so, an interesting piece of information. North German state of Schleswig-Holstein plans to switch to open source software by the end of 2026. Microsoft Office is to be replaced by LibreOffice. on all 25,000 computers used by civil servants and employees, and the Windows operating system is to be replaced by GNU Linux. So another
About
and
time.
what?
I say it's about time. LibreOffice started
Oh, sheesh, yeah.
as Star Office, which was a German firm.
Oh.
Yeah. Little known fact.
Yep, and we were talking about we mentioned it a few times. Encryption, end-to-end encryption on Signal and others.
Right.
And Facebook said that they're going to bring it to Instagram and WhatsApp. Well, they're not planning to bring it
Already in
to
WhatsApp.
what?
It's already in WhatsApp.
Well, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp parent company. Oh no, it's on Messenger and Instagram. Sorry,
Okay.
they're
Yeah.
going to bring it to that, and they said that they're not going to bring it before 2023. Why? They don't explain
I,
why,
I
but
don't I don't find it interesting in any way. They already have end-to-end encryption in Messenger. Maybe not the same one that the Whisper technology that's used by Signal, but it's like, I mean, it's good for Signal because it probably means some sort of licensing deal with them, um, even though it is open source. So I'm not sure. So it sounds like just crap marketing.
well, crap or not. All right. Anything else anybody wants to? Oh, the last was Sunday. I think it was Sunday. Maybe it was Saturday. I don't remember. Anyway, um, police cars were just rushing through Wayne Street, going down the street, sirens and everything. And I'm not talking about 2 or 3. There were about 12 of them. And you say, "Oh, geez, now what happened?" And they all stopped like about 200-300 yards from our house on the right side, and speakers were going on. And I came out to look, and here another car comes in, and a female policeman, window open, put her hands out and pointing to the house and say, "Sir, go back in the house." I was on the driveway. I
Yeah.
said, "Boy, something is going on." So waited and waited, and
No gunshots?
no gunshots. Um, After things cooled off, uh, I went I went down there. No, I called the police and I said, "Look, if video would help you, I probably have some footage of what traffic."
Yeah.
And say, "Yeah, we'll let them know." Well, nothing happened. So she said, "Go down there." I said, "I don't want to go down there because they're busy." So a few hours later, I went down there and found out that somebody just broke into a house and stole some shoes, he said, or whatever. It wasn't anything, who knows what. And I said, God dang, with all these policemen, they're just for somebody breaking in. I said, yeah, if we get the note that a break-in is in progress, we go hard on it. So he told me what to look for, and I went and I saw the car coming in and leaving, and I told him, and he said, thanks for the times and all that, and he said, detective will come and talk to you. So the detective called and told me if I can email it to him. I tried to save it from that new DVR that I have. I couldn't figure out how to save it. I mean, I went and cut it here and cut it here, and I said, back up. It said that it required 5 terabytes. I said, no, there's no way because the whole thing is 2 terabytes. So what's going on here? So I read a little more and called. I was doing it from the wrong place. So I told him, I said, I can't save it, but I'll find out how. So I did. He came over and got it. And the amazing thing, and that's the thing, the amazing thing is that car was leaving as police cars were rushing down the street.
Wow.
So I told him, I said, boy, you guys were
Like a
passing
bad
them.
movie.
Yeah. He said, yeah, I'm sure it was, but
But actually, that's good because they usually have dash cams,
yeah,
so they have
maybe.
uh, the license plate properly.
Well, that's the whole thing is leading to that. So he asked me if I can get a license plate. I said, no, I'm not at the right angle to get
Yeah.
any license plate. But during the week, I said, that would be interesting because I told the guy, I said, I didn't think it was legal to capture license plate. He said, if you do it from your property and you're not using it for any, or if not doing anything with it, it's fine. Well,
Right.
but then I went ahead and read, and sure enough, there's a lot of systems that do that. So it's not illegal. So I went and I got a camera and I mounted it on the tree right along the street, and it wasn't good enough. So I went and I changed the lens.
High resolutions.
Yeah, no, it's an HD camera. Sorry, it wasn't an HD camera. It was a 1300 TV line. What, Nick?
No, I was going to say, yeah, what is high resolution?
Yeah, it was a 1300 TV line.
So NTSC.
It's NTSC, yeah. And it wasn't good, but because it was real wide. So I went and got a 6mm lens and changed it in the board. It was better, but it still wasn't good enough. I got a 8. It still wasn't enough. And I didn't have anything higher. So I ordered a camera with the
the software they show on cop shows where they take a blurry image
No,
from
I don't know
100
about
yards
that.
away
Yeah,
that just shows
sure.
a blob of a car, can't turn it into a perfectly clear license plate?
Enhance.
Yeah, enhanced. So I ordered one. I mean, it was like $30-some with an HD with a 1.8 till 25mm. It's like a adjustable. And I'm waiting. It's interesting. I haven't played with this stuff like this in a long time, but it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
The amount of houses on Wynn Street, right?
They're not houses. These are like condos, apartments. I don't know what you call them.
The amount, I somehow doubt this will ever be needed again.
Oh no! It's just because I want to see if it can be. I mean, it's interesting to see something like this, how it works, and it's fine. Yeah, I thought I asked the cop. I said, "So was somebody in the house when they broke in?" He said, "No." But I'll keep you posted about this. I mean, I like to play with the cameras and see what I can get out of it. But we'll see. Anyway, yeah, that was it. So anything else? Wow.
If you're a cord cutter looking for an antenna and you live in the Raleigh area, Ollie's has a couple of different versions of antennas in the $20 range, 20 something. One is a rotor antenna for like $25.
Who?
Ollie's.
Really?
Ollie's, yeah. Rotor
Good
antenna.
stuff. Cheap.
Yep.
Oh, damn.
They have a bunch of different indoor powered antennas, external powered antennas.
Yeah, with that clear stream, don't need to turn the antenna. It's great. Thank you, Sarid, for letting me know about the clear stream.
What is that, an app?
No, it's an antenna.
Oh, an antenna. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a more expensive antenna than 20 something. But it works. All right. Anybody else? Anything else? Going once? Going twice? All right. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Gal, Spence, Nick. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Dana, Dina, Arlington, Micha, Eleanor, Sarid. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And again, remember, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., Nick is on Wilmington's 980 The Wave, which is 980 a.m., and 107.9 FM. The recording of his news shows are on nickcraig.com. And Tuesday at 7 p.m., Nick and Brian do the Infection podcast on Twitch for survival games. Sometimes they push it to Wednesday, depending on if they have time or not. But if you're into survival games, 7 p.m. Tuesday evening on Twitch. Infection podcast, no spaces. Talk to you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.